Hey, all you cinema buffs out there. Nate and Dennis bringing you our review of the new movie, Baby Driver.
That's right. So Baby Driver is the new Edgar Wright film, and it's basically about a young getaway driver who has one last job, and he'll be done. But we all know in the criminal world, you're never really done. So after that, he falls in love, and he gets in a little too deep with all the criminals. So I know you've been looking forward to this movie so much, Dennis. You're a huge Edgar Wright fan.
Oh, yeah.
So let's just get right into it. Did it deliver? Did it give you what you wanted?
This was the movie I've been waiting for all year. If you've watched the show, you've heard me. You can tell that I get a little franchise fatigue with all these comic book movies. Even though some of my favorite characters are getting movies this year, Batman's got 2 of them. Spider-Man, I'm very excited about those. But also, I just love original filmmaking. I think that's Edgar Wright through and through, and it's from start to finish with this movie. I remember Nate and I were talking about the trailers for this one, and we thought that the lead character, Baby, played by Ansel Elgort, who does a great job in the movie.
Yeah.
We thought that he might come off a little bland, like not really having any personality, and that's just so weird for an Edgar Wright movie to have a lead character who's bland. But right off the bat, you see who this kid is, and you see that he's really got a heart of gold, and he's just kind of really being coerced into this criminal life.
Yeah. He just can't seem to find his way out.
Yeah, exactly. But this movie has style, substance, everything you want from a movie. Just an original take on, the criminal doing one last job to get out. We've all seen that story before.
But not like this.
But not like this. Not in Edgar Wright's vision.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is a wholeheartedly original movie, or maybe a really original take on something that you've seen before.
Correct.
But either way, yes, the character of Baby ended up being my favorite character, and he was the one I was a little bit the most nervous about because there's so many great actors and there's so many colorful characters to choose from in this movie. It's hard to choose a favorite because they're just so well written.
Exactly.
And they just have such great big personalities.
Yeah. I mean, top to bottom, the cast is great. You got Kevin Spacey, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, John Bernthal. Just all these big actors, nowadays, and they want to work with Edgar Wright, and you can tell why they want to work with Edgar Wright. The way he writes dialogue, the way he crafts these characters, like he makes the guys who are jerks and characters you normally hate, he gives them redemption.
Yeah.
And he gives the characters you grow to love in the movie, they kind of turn out to be jerks in the end.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns, but the number one star of this movie is the music. It is the soundtrack. This movie really plays into the lead character of Baby having a hum in the drum after an accident that he had. So he has this sort of...
He has tinnitus.
Yeah, he has tinnitus. So every time his headphones are off, you hear this little buzz. Mm-hmm. And it's really distracting. You can almost feel what he would feel without listening to music. So he keeps music in at all times. When he's driving, when he's walking, when he's talking to people, anything. He always has music in, and there is always fantastic music playing during this movie.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is killer.
Yeah, and Edgar Wright does this really great thing where he crafts the scene, he edits the scene to the music. Like there are times where there's a drum roll in a song and the gunfire is going in beat with the drum roll. Mm-hmm. And you've seen that technique used in like trailers, especially in the last couple of years. But he does it throughout the whole movie, and it was one of those things where it's like, is this gonna work? And it does. Because not only does it do it with the action, it does it with like delivery of lines. It does it with little character motions. It's just, you can tell that he crafted the movie around the soundtrack.
He did.
Whereas normally in filmmaking, you make the movie and then the music supervisor throws in the songs at the end with the edit, and the editor and the music supervisor get together. Yeah. But Edgar Wright put together the soundtrack and built the movie.
There
around.
had to have been music on set at all times. When scenes were playing, music was playing for them to hit these beats. And it starts off so solid with this, and it really gets you acclimated with this style, especially with the opening sequence when you meet Baby and everything, with everything timing to the music. And then about the halfway mark, I was starting to wonder, is my brain just getting used to timing everything to the music, or is it slowing down? And I don't think it was like slowing down on that style. No. I just think I was becoming used to it. I was just like, oh, okay, like, because I had to go back into it during dialogue scenes. I was like, their punctuations are hitting every note. It's a huge reason to go back and watch this movie again because it is so well crafted.
Yeah, and with all of his movies before, I think that Edgar Wright's movies are more enjoyable a second time around.
Completely.
It's just that, with his movies, you get thrown into this adventure and you're just taken for the ride. You don't have really time to like sit down and enjoy all the little details. And that's what you get when you watch it again. And I'm definitely going to go see this one again.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to see it. I'm going to purchase it. I want to shake the editor's hand. This is some of the best editing, and I'm not joking here, I've ever seen in a film. This is so well edited. I can't believe that they went through all the meticulous details of making sure that everything fits just perfectly. So we talked a lot about what we liked. Is there anything you didn't like?
There were just a little few things. I mean, minor complaints I have. The lead character, Baby, he is a criminal. He is a getaway driver for bank robbers. But, they give him some redeeming qualities. I think there was just a little too much of the redeeming qualities. It's like he takes care of a disabled person. He doesn't believe in killing anybody on the job. Like he's being coerced into this to pay off a debt. It's just like it's like we get it. He's a good guy in a bad situation. I just feel like sometimes it was just pushed a little too hard.
I can see that, but at the same time, I think like I'm not going to spoil anything, but it sort of has to do with the ending as
right.
well.
No, it all pays off.
It all pays off, but I can see where you're coming from on that. For me, the tone was a little bit shifted at the halfway mark, and that it took a serious turn, more serious than I thought it would. And I was sort of getting used to this like really upbeat, awesome, fun music, happy, and then it really darkens a little bit, and I thought that was it threw me a little bit off. Not a deal breaker by any means, but just the tone seemed to shift a little too drastically in the middle.
Yeah, I can see that. And this movie is a more serious Edgar Wright movie. It isn't as funny as other Edgar Wright movies. That's not to say that there were jokes that didn't land. I think all the jokes landed on this one, but there just aren't as many jokes. This was more like a crime gangster thriller than it was like a straight up comedy like all of Edgar Wright's movies before.
Definitely. And I also, although Baby was probably my favorite of all the characters, I definitely have a least favorite that I'm not going to get into it because I want you to choose for yourself. I'm not going to say who my least favorite character was, but there was one that I just didn't take to very much, and I felt like some great characters got too little screen time and some not so great characters got way too much.
Yeah, but I will say that there are great performances in this movie, and I know what character you're talking about. I disagree. I like the way that the character went. I think that's just giving an actor who can really chew up the scenery, giving them scenes to chew up.
Yeah.
But the one who, it's not a surprise that he stands out because he's just so great in everything he does. But Kevin Spacey is just the charismatic charm. Everything you love about Kevin Spacey and all of his other roles, it's cranked up to 10 in this one.
Yeah, and I was reading about it, and Jamie Foxx would be on set on days he wasn't even in the film just to watch Kevin Spacey. Yeah. Just because he was in awe of how amazing, he's so flawless. He's just so perfect on screen, and yeah, he's awesome to watch. All the actors just do such a great job in this movie.
Indeed.
Buffs. All right, Dennis, this was your most anticipated film of the year. I'm dying to hear your score. What will you give it?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies where I'm sure if I went back through it again with a fine-tooth comb, I could pick out a bunch of flaws, but there are these things, the little imperfections of the movie, you just ignore them because you're having such a fun ride, start to finish. There's no real lag time in this movie, it keeps going through and through, and everything about Edgar Wright is just so original, and it's all the things I've been wanting out of movies lately. Originality, well-developed characters, great dialogue, an awesome soundtrack, great editing.
In-camera action, there's no green screen.
Yeah,
or anything like
no
that.
CGI. This is all real cars, real stunt drivers, and I just like that he's showcasing that, it's kind of becoming a lost art, these real practical stunts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not a perfect movie, but I'm going to give it a perfect score. I'm going 10 out of 10.
Whoa!
I had such a good time at this movie. I was grinning ear to ear from start to finish.
Good. I'm glad it paid off for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Well, I also enjoyed myself thoroughly during this movie. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I just think that there's things here and there that, like you said, it has its flaws. But man, what a wild ride. It is still like totally amazing, totally worth seeing. But I'm going to go under with an 8.5 out of 10, but still a humongously passing score. Like, go see this movie immediately. It's awesome.
If you guys are feeling the franchise fatigue that I've been feeling lately, where everything's comic book based on something else, a remake, a reboot, a rehash, something original, this is the movie you want. Go see it, and then go see it again.
Buffs.
All right, so that's it for our review of Baby Driver. What'd you guys think of the movie? Why don't you go ahead and leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the love here at Cinema Bus, and a big shout out to Comic Signal for letting us shoot in the shop today. We truly appreciate it.
That's right. Also, 4th of July is coming up, so we have a lot of new episodes and everything coming out. We hope you have a safe, happy holiday, but don't you forget,
there's no place like the theater.